Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Michigan State going across the country on the road playing USC. 11 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. That is an absolute crime, especially for us over here on the East Coast. Here's what fires me up the most about this game. You look at it and say it's fair to say that USC is a heavy favorite in this game. Vegas has given us a 17.5 point spread. The ESPN matchup predictor, 95% chance for USC to win this game. What I think excites me the most about this game is two things. Number one, Aiden Childs. Michigan State fans know when you have a quarterback like Aiden Childs, although at times extremely inconsistent, but when you have a quarterback like Aiden Childs that has the ability to be just a pure difference maker as a thrower of the football and as an athlete, you're always going to have a chance to make some noise into these kind of football games. The second thing I will say, Michigan State has the ability to test USC in ways they probably haven't been tested yet this year. Now, what are those matchups to look for? That's what I want to get into before we do. And as always, USC fans, Michigan State fans, let it fly in the comment section. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, let's start with the juggernaut of this matchup, and that's this USC offense. There were a lot of people in the national media that were sleeping on this USC offense going into 2025. You look up through 3 games, 55 points per game through 3 games, averaging 9.6 yards per play, both number one in the country. How does Michigan State deal with this USC offense? And I think the biggest concern for a lot of Michigan State fans is, hey, we just got lit up by Dylan Lonergan in that Boston College passing attack a couple of weeks ago. And Dylan threw for 390 yards and 4 touchdowns. Michigan State was able to win that game, but I think it highlighted some of the question marks we have about this Michigan State secondary. Well, I'll say this, USC and what they're going to be trotting out there, it's a heck of a lot more dynamic than what Boston College had. Like, not only do you have Lincoln Riley calling the offense, you have Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon on the outside. Jayden Maiava, he is playing some really good football to start the year. That's the number one thing you're looking at. How competitive can Michigan State be in the secondary? Because that's a mismatch that I think certainly favors USC. Here's the question that I have is, number one, how well does USC run the football? Because I'm looking at USC and say, one of the things that I love most about this team early in 2025 is how balanced this offense has been. Like, yes, the passing attack is averaging 12.8 yards per pass. That's number 2 in the country. They also have one of the better rushing attacks in the country heading into this one, too. But you look at Michigan State and say, hey, they're only giving up 2 yards per carry. That's number 6 in the country. How well is USC able to run the football against a very solid front seven that can stop the run? Because if you're Michigan State, you want to make USC show that they can win through the air. And you think that USC has a chance here. But I think one of the things that has allowed Jayden to play his best football is that they've been able to lean on the run. They haven't asked Jayden to be a superhero back there in terms of playing quarterback. Can you stop the run? Force USC to throw the football maybe a little bit more than they want to? That's a way that I think Michigan State can test this USC offense. And I think if you're a USC fan, hey, what's this offensive line look like against a solid front? What's our ability to run the football against some of the better run defenses in this conference? Because if you're a USC fan, you're saying, hey, it's sweet that we can run the football against Purdue. How well can we run it when we start bumping up against some of the better line of scrimmage programs in this conference? This is a nice litmus test if you're a USC fan. Can you have success, continued success, running the football, work and play action against a very stingy run defense that Michigan State is going to be trotting out there? That's what I'm looking for on that side of the football. Then you look at the other side. I think biggest concern here is Michigan State and pass protection. The one thing that nobody really realizes about USC yet, I think they're going to start to realize over the next couple of weeks, this USC pass rush is night and day different from what you saw last year. It was downright a problem for USC last year. They could not manufacture pressure with their front four last year. It's been completely flipped. Like, you look at the numbers, USC leads the country in sacks through 3 weeks. They're sacking the quarterback 11% of dropbacks. And then you look at Michigan State, say it's not been great in pass protection. Michigan State's taken sacks on 11.6% of their dropbacks, 128th in the country. We've seen Childs have some struggle getting the football out quick. Can this USC pass rush get home? How well is Michigan State able to lean on the ground game? This is another storyline, excuse me, for USC here. Michigan State likes to run a lot of outside zone. They got a quarterback that can contribute in the run game as well. How well are our linebackers fitting the run? Because it's a difficult offense to fit the run against. Been a little bit of a problem at times. I think that problem's getting a little bit overblown. Like, I know USC fans are frustrated about some of the chunk plays USC has given up on the ground. You look at the numbers, they're giving up only 2.9 yards per carry. That's 19th best in the country. I don't think it's been a massive problem, but I do think this might be this is a solid rushing attack that's going to test you. If USC can have success stopping the run against a solid running offense, but not a great running offense, and force Michigan State into some of those obvious pass play or passing situations, what does Michigan State look like in pass protection? That to me is the biggest matchup you'll see. Here's the other thing is I think the jury is still out with these USC defensive backs, specifically the cornerbacks. You know, I think the safety play has been just fine, if not very good for USC. But on the boundary with USC's cornerbacks, they're still trying to figure out, hey, who are our best cornerbacks? How good are we at the cornerback position? Well, this is a game that you're kind of going to find out because Nick Marsh, Amari Kelly, those are two really good pass catchers. And here's the storyline for USC is, can you take away those top two pass catchers? Over 50% of the drop back throws that Aiden Childs has had so far have gone to either Nick Marsh or Amari Kelly. It's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, for the USC fans, it kind of looks similar to Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon, where it's like, hey, we're running our passing attack through our two best pass catchers. We're sprinkling in tight end usage at times. Can you take away the two best pass catchers on Michigan State? Can you force Aiden Childs to go elsewhere with the football through the air? That's a storyline in this game as well. How good are USC's cornerbacks? Can they neutralize at least a little bit guys like Amari Kelly and Nick Marsh? And then can USC dominate in the pass rush, create a lot of negative plays? And when you start creating negative plays, you also start creating turnovers. Now, this is a game where you're looking at Aiden Childs and saying he's loose with the football, right? He's a gunslinger. He's going to try to make some high-level throws, and he's also going to make some decisions that make you scratch your head. Like, look at USC. They're forcing over 2.3 turnovers per game. That's top 15 in the country. Can you force some critical turnovers in this game with the pass rush, with the ball hawking ability of a guy like Bishop Fitzgerald? Think there's certainly a chance there. And you know Dan Lynn's going to get after it and probably go out of his way to be aggressive and to create some turnovers. If USC can avoid giving up those monster explosive plays, which, to be fair, has been a little bit of a problem for USC, if you can avoid giving up explosive plays and make Aiden Childs and this Michigan State offense execute down the football field, you like your chances. Because as explosive as Michigan State can be, the down-to-down efficiency and execution leaves a little bit to be desired. They take negative plays, they turn the football over. Don't give them free plays. If you don't give them free plays, you force them to execute, chances are you're going to give this offense some problems. Getting into the pick here, I think you have to go with USC, and there's a couple of factors at play. Number one, I don't love when these East Coast teams have to go on the road and then play. I mean, this is midnight for these guys at Michigan State. For USC, it's just a night game. But for Michigan State, they're playing at midnight on Saturday night. Number two, on the road, Michigan State has struggled in pass protection. Do we really trust Aiden Childs to play his best football against the USC pass rush that I think is one of the best in the conference? Turnovers, negative plays. Not sure if Michigan State can deal with this USC passing attack. I'll go ahead and take USC. I'll take the points as well at 17.5. I think you see USC score a lot. I think you see them force some turnovers, force some negative plays. I'll take USC in the points. Going to be a fun one. Going to be a late night for the boys over here on the East Coast. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.